Hey, it's Kim Redding with Y Denton, and I'm here today with our Mayor, Gerard Hudspeth. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this interview because I want to share with y'all what a wonderful person this is and a little bit more about him and his background. So if you don't mind, if you'd explain a little bit about yourself and a little bit how you're rooted in here with Denton.
Sure. Yeah, so I born and raised here in Denton. Just can't seem to shake it, but it's interesting. So grew up kind of over by Morrison Milling,
Right.
But went to elementary school. We moved to Bonnie Bray Street, so went to Newton Razor there, and so it's funny for me to see the iterations of Bonnie Bray Street because we started off. It was 2 lanes when we lived there, and the hospital was my friend's house, and they had horses where the hospital is.
Yeah.
And then it widened to what it is now, the 4 lanes across, and then the sidewalk and all those things. And then now they're going to widen it again, and they bought the old house, and it's gone. And so we've been through all the phases of Bonnie Bray. So when people say it's always under construction, I understand.
It is.
And then graduated from Denton High School, and graduated from NCTC and UNT. So the only thing left is to get some sort of master's degree or something from TWU. I'll check I'll check all those boxes. So that's the thing, and so. Other than that, that's about the gist of my path. I think are the background of things.
Of getting your foundation here in Denton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree, and what I love about that is that you understand the back streets and what it was like here beforehand, and so you can talk to people that have been there, and then also all those new people that are coming in. So that's why I was going to ask about your position here as well. How long have you been on the council, and then a mayor?
Got it. So. Ran a couple of times and lost. Don't recommend that. Winning is much better than losing, just in case.
Of course.
But yeah, so first elected 2017, served 2 years, and then re-elected 2019.
Okay.
And then we left early to run for mayor in 2020, and we were successful in that. So December 20 we took office, and it was obviously with the pandemic, the election was supposed to be in May, got pushed to November. Then we made the runoff by 1.something%, barely. And let me stop. I always like to stop and pause there and say thank you to the guy that lived in Denton for 6 months and decided to run for mayor. He took 5,000 votes and put us into the runoff. I mean, we were trending the wrong way, but that guy took 5,000 votes and put us into the runoff, and then we were won by 1,000 votes in the runoff. But so sworn in mid-December and hit the ground running. There's no training. The other one's out and you're in, and off you go. So
it's like a high five.
Yes.
And then you rotate. I get it. And then here's all your stuff for you.
Yeah.
But you've handled it with such grace. So that's what I've been grateful for, to watch you and then learn more about you. And that's what I want other people to know about you. So tell me this. Tell me something that you've learned here that you'd want us to learn as well, as far as taking position and somebody who wants to learn more about being here.
Right. Wow. Great question. I think first I'd like people to know that there's always people more plugged in and knowledgeable that encourage. That's who encouraged me to run. Right. The first couple of times lost, figured it out, came back with other people suggesting it and reworking some things, and we were able to be successful at that run. And then also just kind of what I've learned is just how much just that caring part of it, right? So for example, losing, I mean, you don't get a chance, you don't get any warning. It's almost like if you can imagine a school semester where you don't get any grades until the end of the semester, and it's pass fail, right? I mean, so the polls are closed, early voting's over, and then they tell you how you did.
Right.
And it's tough, so it's all of a sudden. But then, and so that emotional kind of thing was new to me. I didn't understand. I just didn't think it would affect me that way.
Right.
But then also the mayor's race told me a lot, because I left my seat and my seat was filled, and so. I was off council during the runoff. I served until the election, but during the runoff, my seat was filled. Right. I was off council for about 3 weeks, and so that day, having to turn everything in, like any other day for the last 4 years, if I forgot something in City Hall, I just buzz in and go get it. Right. After this day, that was it. No buzzing in. No buzzing in. You had to call somebody on Monday. Hey, I'll be up there at 8 to get my stuff. So but it was just a weird thing that I'd never experienced, and it stuck with me. So, but all of that is to say, I really enjoy the opportunity it gives me to help people, right? I really have begun to separate the two to say the political stuff that you have to go through and the voting and that sort of stuff and building rapport with your coworkers, with your fellow council members. That's one part of it, but it's a very small part of it. The biggest part is I'm able to help people every day with potholes, just stuff you don't have to vote on is the stuff that's most important. Speed signs, crime issues, safety issues, those sort of things. You can work directly with city staff and fix those issues every day. I mean, I just reported I saw a water leak just walking. Note to my doctor, hey, I'm getting my steps in. So I was walking and I saw this water leak a couple of days, and so it was just sitting there as it hadn't rained. I'm like, hey, what is this? Took a picture with the app and sent it in, and sure enough, there's a water leak. So those things you never have to vote on, just kind of being a good, active, and engaged in your community, and you can just serve very well and get a lot done. So that to me is encouraging.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is I like that's encouraging because I want to encourage the younger ones to come and learn more about you and learn more about what the position does and how they can be involved. And not be mayor, but they also can be a part of, the growth, because Denton is growing so much, but we're still a small city, and they say it's the new Austin, the smaller version of Austin, but it's nice that you're plugged in. It's nice that you know where it came from to where it's going, so that you have that frame of mind, a reference of when it grows, so people don't get nervous. But with these little ones that are involved, how do we keep them growing with us and being plugged into our community?
Yeah, I think it's just spending time, right? I went to an event at Texas Women's when some women were getting inducted into the Texas Hall of Fame. So not directly. Texas Women's was hosting it, but it's the state level women inducted into their Hall of Fame, and just. There was a bunch of students there at TWU that were working the event. And so I just talked to them, just engage. Hey, which dorm are you in? Do you like it? What can we do better? That sort of thing.
You communicated.
Yes.
And not just,
Right. And then at the end of the day, I think it was 3 weeks later, two of the kids I talked to showed up at the council meeting like, hey, my friends had to be here. We remembered we met you and we wanted to come along and just see it. And so we hung out and I gave them the nickel tour of City Hall and took pictures and selfies and so it's just engaging and explaining what we do and that sort of thing. I mean, I get it all the time. I was at Best Buy yesterday and someone's asking me how the new City Hall is on Loop 288. I'm like, well, that's the county. but it's just like people don't, it all kind of blurs and it's all confusing if you don't track it as close as we do.
I'm learning too, like just when you break it down, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But you need that one-on-one instead of looking at it on a computer. So I appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us and letting us learn more about you.
Certainly. Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. And it really is, it's a blessing for me, for my family. And I guess I should mention that. So there's two older daughters, that's Lanisha, Jordan, and then we have a little bit of a gap, and we have an 11 and 5-year-old, that's Alice and Olaya, and so that's those are my wife is Diane, so I should mention that's my support,
that's why you're here.
My support group.
And I love that.
They keep me.
So 4 girls.
Yes.
And your wife.
Yes.
And they support you here while you come around and do all this stuff.
That's right.
So we hope we all get to meet them as well and learn more about their story.
Yes.
And how they support you as well.
Oh yeah. No, they're a hoot. They're good. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate it too. And thank you for watching Why Denton. And remember, as always, you belong here.